here from madeoffail.net. I'm here with Mike Grell, legendary artist and writer for Green Arrow. I happen to have brought my Green Arrow, the Longbow Hunters, and we've been having a discussion that I haven't been taping because I'm kind of an idiot. But we were just talking about how you managed to humanize Ollie and Dayna, and basically whether or not you thought that everything... I was asked if it was too graphic to show, you know, Dayna's torture and what happened to her, and I pointed out that I really loved Dayna's reason for not having children was because she didn't want to make orphans because of how dangerous the life is.
Exactly.
And that was, you were basically putting Green Arrow through a midlife crisis, which is very new. I mean, I don't think that's been done before.
I don't think so either.
And what was your rationale behind that?
I was approaching my own midlife crisis. I made him just a little older than I was at the time. I made him 43 years old, and he was coming to terms with his own mortality. And that's a rough situation for anybody to go through, particularly somebody who's been devil may care all of his life. You don't run around with fighting crime and shooting a bow and arrow and being a superhero all this time and not having some kind of a cumulative effect. So I wanted to show that he was human in so many ways. Part of it is that he's got a great relationship with a great woman. They've been together forever. And at this point where he's feeling his moment of crisis, he's the one who wants to solve his problem by getting married and having children without even considering.
Because that solves everything.
Oh, yeah, it works so well. Because that was theoretically going to be the answer to his problem, without even considering that it might not be the answer to Dayna's.
I'm a bad editor, so...
No, that's fine. That's fine. Dayna's the one who's smart enough and realistic enough to say she doesn't want to have children because she doesn't want to make orphans. They're involved in a deadly business. They fight crime. They go on the streets and they take down some of the dirtiest, nastiest criminals, or at least they're about to.
It really is no place for a child.
Right.
Ahem, cry for justice, ahem. Not to make botcha.
I don't know what to say about that. And then we were talking about the torture scene.
The torture scene. I was asked if that was over the top. I said, actually, surprisingly not. I don't like torture, but I love the fact that you kept it all off panel, as opposed to a lot of modern comics, which would show her getting split up the middle or punched in the face. And this would be the scene in question, where Ollie sees Dayna being tortured and just viscerally, just without thinking, just shoots an arrow into the guy. He just had to stop it. I mean, that's Dayna. That's his love. And seeing her hurt was just... It's more like the Green Arrow took over in that one instant.
I did that intentionally because I wanted to take him from the goody two-shoes character that he had been portrayed all those years. In the 70s, there was a story where Green Arrow killed a man accidentally and then ran off to a Tibetan monastery and became a monk. And he swore that he would never kill again. And I wanted to bring him into the real world, jettison all the trick arrows and all the other stuff. I thought a boomerang arrow was #1 stupid and
boxing
#2
glove
scary.
Yeah. Well, how would you shoot that thing?
A boomerang arrow, if you miss, it's going to come back to you. Thanks a lot. That's not a good way to stay alive for very long.
How hard can you fail a batarang?
Right. So I also wanted to make this change in the character and show that spurred on proper stimulus, given the right reason, anyone can and will kill. A mother will kill to protect her child. A father, a husband to protect his wife, his family. Soldiers kill to protect the country. If you're given enough reason, the human being, the human condition is tuned for that. something can happen and trigger it. And in particular, the way I set this up was so that it would be a moment of choice with Ollie. And that's what this is. I've already shown in the early part of the story that he can shoot an arrow through a guy's earring. He could easily shoot a knife out of this guy's hand, no problem. But in this moment, he makes that decision. The bastard deserved to die. Yes, maybe, maybe not, but
And then if you pick up the rest of your run, I don't know if it's available in trades so much, but I grabbed a lot of back issues, and he really struggles with this for a very long time.
Absolutely. It doesn't just end here. It changes his entire life. It changes his outlook, changes his relationship with Dayna. Dayna goes through essentially PTSD.
I remember her being upset because she wasn't the one who got revenge. He took that away from her.
There's all of that going. There's all of that going. She's got a line in there.
And I got a minute warning on this thing.
Dayna has a line where she's talking to a therapist, and she says, people say, well, at least you weren't raped, as if that's the worst thing that could happen.
No, the powerlessness of her case.
Yeah, that's what the torture is all about. It's not about sex. It's about power and dominance.
I hate to cut you off right here because I love talking with you, but I just wanted to thank you so much for this very, very short interview with my very, very bad memory card. Mike Grell from
Thank you very
Warlord and DC, and you know, it was just such a pleasure to meet you.
This is the book.
Green Arrow Longbow Hunters. It's on Amazon in very limited quantities. Buy it. It's awesome.